Ladies and gentlemen, a very pleasant good evening to you. Syracuse University is pleased and proud to welcome you all to the Carrier Dome, the home of the Syracuse University Orangemen. Tonight's Eastern Regional NCAA basketball doubleheader. In tonight's first game, the Ohio State Buckeyes meet the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. And now the starting lineups for tonight's first ball game. First for the visiting Ohio State Buckeyes. A 6'8", 210-pound sophomore from Canal Fulton, Ohio, number 42, Joe Konchak. A 6'8", 215-pound junior from East Meadow, New York, number 44, Matt Doherty. A 6'7", 215-pound junior from Teaneck, New Jersey, double O Tony Campbell. A 6'9", 234-pound junior from Latham, New York, number 41, Stan Perkins. A 6'11", 220-pound senior from Columbus, Ohio, number 13, Granville Waiters. A 6'11", 235-pound freshman from Black Mountain, North Carolina, number 42, Brad Doherty. A 6'3", 184-pound senior from Port Washington, Ohio, number 20, Larry Huggins. A 6'2", 171-pound senior from Chattanooga, Tennessee, number 24, Jim Braddock. A 6', 170-pound sophomore from Canton, Ohio, number 14, Troy Taylor. A 6'6", 196-pound sophomore from Wilmington, North Carolina, number 23, Michael Jordan. The Ohio State Buckeyes, Eldon Miller. The head coach of the North Carolina University Tar Heels, Dean Smith.
The Buckeyes will go left to right or clad in scarlet. The Tar Heels will go right to left or clad in white. Stepping in to throw it up is Joe Sylvester out of the ECAC, and the tap is controlled by Carolina. Joe Sylvester is working with Ron Spittler from the Missouri Valley and Woody Mayfield from the Big 8 Conference tonight. Jim Braddock, top of the circle to Matt Doherty. Over on the left side at the wing. Low it goes to Brad Doherty. Turnaround off the baseline is good. Over the top of Joe Konchak. Brad Doherty, who has not practiced at full speed since Tuesday of this week, gives Carolina an early 2-0 lead. Troy Taylor picked up by Michael Jordan as he crosses the timeline on this tartan floor. Sends a pass to Huggins deep in the right corner. Huggins against Braddock as Carolina likewise is man-to-man. Now back to Tony Campbell. The shot from out of the corner is no good. Rebounded by Matt Doherty. Doherty playing with a heat brace on the lower part of his back. That back flared up, giving him trouble. Sam Perkins from top of the circle, no good. Tapped outside by Brad Doherty, and the foul is called on Matt Doherty as Joe Konchak is knocked to the tartan floor, about which we just spoke. Matt Doherty, whose mom and dad drove the 6 hours from East Meadow, New York, out on Long Island to Syracuse this very afternoon, gives Carolina its first team foul.
Woody, no surprises. Each team opening in a suffocating man-to-man defense. The Tar Heels playing a denied defense all over the court.
Tar Heels are pressuring now full court as Huggins across the timeline on the right side against Jordan. Angles to the left. Gets it to Konchak. Konchak low to Waiters. Waiters up over Brad Doherty. No good. And Brad Doherty's got his first foul of the ball game. And right away, Ohio State, on its second offensive possession, wasted no time coming down floor and pushing the ball inside, as Ohio State is wont to do in an effort to draw fouls. And it's going to be a two-shot opportunity coming for Granville Waiters, the 6'11 senior out of Columbus, Ohio. He played very little in the first 2 years of his career behind All-America Herb Williams, but a year ago he started all 31 of the Buckeye games. Waiters with the first free throw, and it's no good. This had been a good free throw shooting team, Jim. It still is one of the best in the country, 76%, but had troubles down the stretch last week against Syracuse.
Woody Waiters looks like he's about 30, but we are told that he's only about 21 or 22 years old.
Just turned 22. 2-1, Carolina leading. Ohio State now with pressure. Braddock splits it, gets it to Brad Doherty, but threw it right by him. Brad Doherty was not expecting that pass to come with that much velocity, and it whistled right by his head, went out of bounds, and it's Ohio State's ball on the game's first turnover. 18:55 left to play in the first half here at the Carrier Dome, Syracuse, New York. Larry Huggins, the senior guard from out of Port Washington, Ohio, gets it front court to Taylor from Canton, Ohio. Now back to Huggins. Back to Taylor on the left side. Left corner to Campbell. Campbell, the junior from Teaneck, New Jersey. Back to Taylor. Back to Campbell it comes. Carolina packed back in a 2-3 zone. Huggins fires over the zone. No good off front of the rim. Perkins taps it. Controlled by Jordan. Concheck was there. Didn't attempt to knock it away, or it might have been a foul. Braddock quickly front court to Matt Doherty. Bounced inside to Sam Perkins. Layup is good, and he's fouled on the play by Granville Waiters. Waiters picks up his first, and that time it was a power move by Latham, New York, Sam Perkins, to get him his first 2 points of the game and a chance for North Carolina's first three-point play at the foul line.
What the early indications are, we're going to see a fast-paced game. You were talking about how Ohio State was trying to get the ball in the middle. The Tar Heels got the ball up court and into scoring position about as fast as they ever can.
It's 4-1 in favor of the Tar Heels. Sam Perkins will try to stretch the lead to 4, and he does. Sam shooting 53% from the field, 81% at the line, as he is Carolina's 11th all-time leading scorer. And tonight, he will move ahead of Pete Brennan as the school's 4th leading rebounder. Ohio State, Troy Taylor. Perkins is there, blocked behind Jordan. Whistle, it's out of bounds, belonging to Ohio State. Great defensive block by Michael Jordan, and the Sporting News National Player of the Year. Just wowed this Carrier Dome crowd. Big East basketball fans are great basketball fans, and they're here tonight in large numbers. Shot missed by Huggins. Good box out underneath by Campbell. Knocked through Doherty's legs. Picked up by Braddock. Braddock needs some help. Got to get rid of it. Gets it cross court now to Perkins. Perkins will drop it right back to Braddock in the backcourt. 5-1 in favor of the Tar Heels. We played just over 2 minutes in Syracuse. Buckeyes have yet to score from the field. Brad Doherty at the left wing. Sam Perkins top of the circle. Comes back on the left wing now to Jordan. Huggins is on him. To Perkins. Perkins turning against Waiters. Will not put it up off the left baseline. To Matt Doherty, who has Campbell on him, and that's a bit of a surprise here in the early going. Here's Perkins off the baseline. Block Waiters. Tapped high in the air. Knocked around. Recovered Campbell off to Taylor. Ohio State secondary break. Jump shot. No good. Rebounded by Jordan, and it was Troy Taylor going over his back. North Carolina, except for one rebound, has done a good job, I think, Jim Hebner, of boxing out off the boards here early, and it's allowed Carolina to go with a 5-1 lead in the first 2.5 minutes of play. Carolina with 3 rebounds, Ohio State with only 1.
Woody, if there was one common denominator among all the coaches yesterday in terms of what they were saying about preparation for the tournament, it is that we are not thinking much about the competition. We're thinking only about our own fundamentals. A real lesson to kids who may be learning the game.
I love Jordan to Perkins. Jump hook over Waiters. Good. Went in, rattled around. You heard it. Coming off the glass, back through. Sam Perkins with 5 early points. It's 7-1 Carolina. Tar Heels off to a good start. Huggins calling out the number 1 Ohio State offense as he crossed the timeline, and Eldon Miller will use a timeout. Another minute, and he would have gotten one gratis, but Miller wants a timeout now because things are not going well very early for the Buckeyes, who are down 6 after the first 3 minutes. Carolina, it's 9th straight, and for the 9th time in the last 17 years, Jim, in the Sweet 16, so to speak. Carolina trying to go to the final 8, to the Elite 8, as we call it.
Woody, Ohio State's shots are not bad. They've taken 5. The reason for the timeout, they have hit none of them until that one right there. So now they're 1 of 6. The Tar Heels are 3 of 5 from the floor overall, and that's really the difference.
Tony Campbell scored a 10-foot baseline jumper down on the left. He wears 00 on the back of his scarlet jersey. He's the Buckeyes' leading scorer, and it's 7-3. Sam Perkins gives to Jordan down the left sideline. Huggins on top of Jordan, playing him a very tight man-to-man. High lob to Jordan, turns off the baseline. Good. Jordan that time pulled the string on Huggins, took him right baseline, and then as Huggins was going to the corner, he stopped, came back, they gave him the pass. He turned around, made the soft jumper off the rim. 9-3 Carolina. At the other end, Jordan has the defensive assignment on Taylor. Goes to Huggins. Braddock is on him. Huggins, the taller of the two by a couple of inches. Campbell, and we get a whistle, and 5 seconds closely guarded was Troy Taylor. And so it's going to belong to Carolina on Ohio State's first turnover of the game. 16:05 to play in the opening half. North Carolina's got a 6-point lead at 9-3.
Tell you, with that, Dave Jones comes into the game, and Eldon Miller is really angry as I believe Larry Huggins goes over to the bench.
He does indeed, and I believe now Jones has come into the lineup. Dave Jones, a 6'2 sophomore from Jewett, Ohio. Brad Doherty to Jim Braddock. Jordan tried to go back door. Braddock couldn't get him the ball. Matt Doherty at the left wing works on Tony Campbell. That goes to Michael Jordan. Jordan against Jones. Feeds it away to Matt Doherty. Doherty coming out of the corner against Campbell. Faking Campbell up for the shot off the glass. No good, and he's fouled by Tony Campbell. Doherty, I think, doing an excellent job with a couple of very quick head fakes in the lane. Got Campbell hanging in the air and was able to draw the foul. He put the shot up a little too hard off the glass, but Matt Doherty, who shoots 77% at the free throw line, will go to the stripe now for the Tar Heels. Carolina in the early going here is 1 of 1 at the free throw line, and that only conversion belongs to Sam Perkins.
Woody, in talking to Matt earlier today, we asked him if that back problem that was bothering him was a result of the Duke injury when he fell down on the floor over at Duke, and he said, well, maybe partially, but he had some back troubles before that, and that fall, he said, just made it worse.
Yeah, it just came upon him. He can't understand why. It just suddenly developed last week in practice. Doherty converts both of his free throws. It's 11-3. Carolina leading by 8. Tar Heels pressuring backcourt. Konchak gets it inbounds to Taylor. Jordan on Tony Taylor, or Troy Taylor it is. Tony Campbell in the Ohio State lineup. I'll try to keep that straight for not only myself, but for your listening pleasure. Bounce pass away to Konchak. He gives it up now to Campbell. Campbell will drive baseline on Perkins. Jump shot is no good, and the foul is on Sam Perkins for blocking Tony Campbell. Foul on Perkins is his first. Jim, those two players were asked yesterday about remembering each other from a charity game when they were in high school. Campbell says, I think Sam will remember me. Sam said later, that was so long ago, I don't remember. Ohio State will inbound. Konchak from the baseline. Konchak's really the guy that came on strong to give Ohio State some real fine play in the void created by Clark Kellogg's absence. Konchak, left-handed jumper, left corner, good. It's 11-5 now as Konchak gets his first bucket of the game. 15-10 to play in the first half. Braddock to Daugherty. Now it goes to Doherty. Now to Braddock. Now down the left sideline to Perkins, almost in the corner against Granville Waiters. Sam finally puts it to the floor, breaks that dribble now. Looking, bounces low to Brad Daugherty, turns off the baseline and scores. Brad Daugherty's got his second straight turnaround jumper off the left baseline, and it's 13-5 in favor of Carolina. Jim, I'm impressed with the way both teams have started. Ohio State's looking for good shots. The Carolina defense has been giving it from, but I'm particularly impressed with the way Carolina is playing now as the Heels are packed back in the 2-3 zone, just as they were earlier. Campbell, no good. Perkins all alone above Waiters. Waiters did not even go up to contest Sam Perkins for the rebound. To Braddock, down on the right side. To Perkins, top of the circle. Bounced it low to Jordan, knocked away by Jones, and Jones comes up with it on Carolina's second turnover. 13-5, 14-20 left to play in the first half. Taylor gets it across the timeline now. Hunter's waiting at the scorer's table to come in. Taylor double team. Perkins and Jordan over on the left side. Ball's knocked away, went out of bounds off Troy Taylor. Taylor, as quick as he is offensively and defensively, is really having troubles with Carolina's trapping defense.
And the Tar Heels doing a great job, Woody, of mixing up their defenses, confusing Ohio State. Woody, you told me yesterday when you saw the team work out, you said, Jim, the coach has his game face on. The team looks very serious. The feeling has persisted this year that when the Tar Heels have lost, that they have been a little bit of an up-and-down team. If you follow Carolina, as most of you do, you've got to like the way the Tar Heels have come out here both tonight, as they did against James Madison, with real determination not to let one slip away.
Carolina with its 1-4 alignment. Ball knocked away by Taylor, and he picks up foul number 2. The 5'11 sophomore from Canton, Ohio, tried to strip Perkins of the ball at the top of the circle, and he gets his second personal foul. Eldon Miller not agreeing with the call by Woody Mayfield, who's the Big 8 representative in this game tonight. But it will be Carolina's ball along the near sideline as we look at it from behind the temporary bleachers on the east side. Playing for, lays out in this forced air facility from north to south. Here's Braddock working, gives it to Perkins, turns from behind the glass, scoots it up, wouldn't go. Jones is there to get the rebound. Huggins has stayed on the bench an awfully long time now. It's off to Taylor across the timeline. 13-5 Carolina. Tar Heels lead by 8 with 13:35 to go. Campbell driving the lane, pulls up, short jumper good. Troy Campbell, his second field goal. He led the Buckeyes in scoring 19 of their previous 29 games, and he makes it 13-7. Jim Braddock gives it up to Warren Martin. The sophomore from Axton, Virginia's in with Durham freshman Curtis Hunter. Handed off to Matt Daugherty. High lob to Perkins. Threw it over his head. It belongs to Ohio State. Now the Tar Heels, trying to make the long cross-court pass, have turned it over now for a third time, and each time, two of those times have been on long passes, another time on a low-post bounce pass. Carolina now sending Brad Daugherty back into the lineup as Sam Perkins will take a breather. So the Tar Heel lineup is Braddock, Hunter, Martin, Doherty, and Jordan. Ohio State's got Jones, Taylor, Waiters, Konchek, and Campbell. Troy Taylor faking Curtis Hunter. Works inside right of the lane. Pushes it away to Campbell. Shot no good. Foul is on Michael Jordan. That's his first personal foul. Jordan, as you know, has been in foul trouble in games of late. Can ill afford to get in very serious foul trouble at this stage of the season. That is the fourth team foul against the Tar Heels. Carolina coming into this game 8th ranked in the country by both AP and UPI. Ohio State not ranked in the top 20. Tony Campbell. Eldon Miller calls him one of the great athletes I have coached, and he is quite an athlete. 6'7" junior from Teaneck, New Jersey. Said the only school in the state of North Carolina or around the ACC area he seriously considered was UNC Charlotte. First free throw was no good. He shoots 80% at the free throw line. I told you Ohio State's a good free throw shooting team. He stripped the net with an excellent, as you heard, 13-8. Ohio State within 5. Braddock double team to Doherty. Tried to get it to Hunter. Knocked away by Jones. It'll still be Carolina's ball. Jim Braddock will make the inbound play from right in front of the Tar Heel coaching staff. Dean Smith in his 22nd year. Bill Guthridge has been with him now 16. Eddie Fogler 10. And Roy Williams in his 5th year as a part-time assistant. Warren Martin on the right side. Now to Curtis Hunter. Down deep in the right corner. Gives to Jordan. Michael Jordan with only one field goal thus far in the ball game. I almost said without a point. Here's Warren Martin, top of the circle. Now to Jordan. Jordan will drive on Jones. Pulls up. Uses the glass. Good. Well, maybe Michael's wearing his transistor tonight or has his earplug in. 15-8. 7-point Carolina lead. 12:25 left to play in the first half. Troy Taylor worked it across the timeline. Carolina in the 2-1-2 zone. Taylor from Jones to Konchek. Left-handed jump shot. Right corner. No good. Jordan above the rim to snare the rebound. Gets it away to Braddock on the right. He'll come across the top of the circle. Gives the Hunter deep in the left corner to Brad Doherty. Doherty forced a little bit inside and I believe traveled with it as he tried to turn to the baseline rather than back to the lane. Carolina now with 4 turnovers. Ohio State 2. 15-8 Carolina. Matt Doherty and Sam Perkins will return for the Tar Heels.
Woody, that's a mistake by Brad, but in the first 10 minutes of the first 8 minutes of this game, Dean Smith will have to feel pretty good about how Brad has played. Brad's had kind of an up and down year, and he is a real key to how far the Tar Heels can go.
Playing awfully well here early, despite the fact he hasn't practiced at full speed since Tuesday. Taylor cross court against the Carolina 1-3-1 point zone to Jones, back to Campbell, forced it off the glass, no good. Tapped by Jordan, who was battling Konchek, recovered Perkins. Off now to Braddock, timeline left side. Perkins gets it right back from Braddock, top of the circle, then drops it back off to Jim Braddock. Ohio State staying in the man-to-man. Ohio State basically a man-to-man team, but went zone at the outset of the second half against Syracuse last Sunday in Hartford, and that confused the Orange men, and they lost their 8-point halftime lead. Sam Perkins on the right. High lob to Brad Doherty. Turn, shoot, score.
Wow.
Seems to be more effective as he wheels to the court rather than the baseline. 17-8, Carolina by 9. Brad Doherty leads the Tar Heels scoring with 6.
Woody, he is 3 of 3 from the floor so far.
Ohio State's Troy Taylor working left, gives to Jones. Back it comes to Taylor at the hash mark. Dean Smith directing his defense. Taylor trying to penetrate, lost the ball, knocked away, and Jordan or Braddock, picked up the foul. I believe it's Jim Braddock. Ron Spittler, who's from the Missouri Valley, moves out to make the call. I believe Jim Braddock, but let's wait to make sure. Steve Hale. Yes, it is Jim Braddock. That's his first personal. It's the 5th team foul against Carolina. And Steve Hale, the freshman from Jinx, Oklahoma, has replaced Braddock in the lineup. Substitution now for Ohio State. Keith Wesson, a 6'9 freshman from Niles, Ohio, is in the game. And Huggins, who had come back in the lineup, travels with a basketball, falling back into the Carolina bench. And just coming off the bench, Huggins does not have to get a lot of playing time unless he gets his act together as Eldon Miller is pacing the sideline. But Miller seems to be more upset with Joe Sylvester, the ECAC referee, than he is with his Fort Washington, Ohio guard. Carolina controlling the basketball now with a 17-8 lead. Jordan goes low to Perkins. Perkins with Waiters behind him. Back to Matt Doherty on the left. Back to Perkins. Perkins turning on Waiters. Jump hook. No good. Rebounded in the lane by Huggins. Huggins will get out of there for Ohio State across the timeline now on the left side. These two teams are meeting tonight for the first time since the NCAA semifinals in 1968 out in Los Angeles. Pass deflected. Caught, however, by Wesson. Brad Doherty knocked down. Hale knocks the ball away from Wesson. Recovered Doherty. Bodies on the tartan floor. No foul on the play. Carolina's going to the south goal with the basketball.
Woody, I have a hard time seeing how there could be no foul. Ohio State shooting poorly. 3 of 11. The Tar Heels, after Sam Smith, were 3 of 11. Bang.
Backdoor Matt Doherty from Steve Hale. 19-8. An 11-point Carolina lead with 10 minutes left to play in the first half. Across the timeline now comes Troy Taylor. What is it, Jim?
Make it now 8 of 12.
Okay.
I think I said 3 of 11, but it was 7 of 11, and it's now 8 of 12 from the floor. Amazing shooting.
Jones gives it up to Taylor. Taylor holding high with 9:40 to play in the half. The Waiters knocked away Jordan, and it will be Ohio State's basketball out of bounds. The other half of that speedy tandem in the Ohio State backcourt, Ron Stokes is getting ready to come in, but before he can, there's an official timeout. 9:40 left to play in the first half with the score, Carolina 19, Ohio State 8. The excitement of the 1983 NCAA basketball championship can be remembered for years with the Final Four program. Stories, photos, features, all-time records, and much more are in this collector's issue. Send check or money order for $5 to include postage and handling to NCAA program, Post Office Box 1983A, Lexington, Kentucky, 40593. That's NCAA program, Post Office Box 1983A, Lexington, Kentucky, 40593. Shooting percentages, Carolina shooting 67%, 8 of 12. Ohio State is only 3 of 11. Carolina has come away with 6 rebounds, all off the defensive board. Ohio State with 4 off the defensive board, and each team's committed 4 turnovers. 19-8, an 11-point Carolina lead as Campbell comes up the right sideline. Bounce low to Wesson, but the whistle and foul is on Keith Wesson. Woody Mayfield, I believe, called Wesson for pushing off on Perkins. The foul on Wesson becomes his first. That's the 5th team foul against Ohio State. 2 of them belong to Troy Taylor. Carolina's lineup now. It's the starting lineup for the Tar Heels, while Ohio State has Waiters, Campbell, Wesson, Stokes, and Taylor. Wesson and Stokes are new additions. Brad Doherty to Michael Jordan. Jordan works against Stokes. He's got a height advantage. I don't know about quickness. Stokes is awfully quick. Matt Doherty holding high on the right against Tony Campbell. Breaks his dribble now. Holds high behind his head. Now comes cross court to Braddock. Left of the circle to Jordan. Jordan spinning away. Lost the ball to Troy Taylor. Taylor coming down. Drives. Feeds it off. Stokes dishes it back. Lost. Recovered Perkins. Ohio State too fancy with it, and either Campbell or Taylor reached in, and I believe it's Taylor reaching in on the foul. Taylor driving to the other end. Tried to double scoop it, and Troy Taylor has just picked up his 3rd personal foul in the Ohio State backcourt. It's the 6th team foul against the Buckeyes, and it comes with 8:51 left to play as Ohio State in the first half, as Ohio State has now committed 6 turnovers. Taylor, honest to goodness, tried to put a little too much French pastry with that scooping layup going down the left. Braddock feeds to Jordan. Jump shot, baseline, too strong. Brad Doherty with a rebound. Hustles his way up. It won't go, and the foul is on Brad Doherty for pushing off at the baseline. He becomes the first Tar Heel to get 2. That's the 6th team foul now against Carolina. So each team will go into the bonus on the next common foul situation. 19-8, Carolina by 11 with 8:35 to play in the half. Troy Taylor remains in the Buckeye lineup with 3 personal fouls. Michael Jordan on him. Taylor moving to the left. High lob to Stokes. Stokes works against Braddock, coming out of the left corner, up the sideline, right in front of the Tar Heel bench. Now will drive to the lane. Brad Doherty there to cut him off. Back out front it goes to Taylor. Taylor looks inside for Waiters, can't get him the ball. Will drive, lays it up, good. Troy Taylor with his first field goal of the game. 3 of the Ohio State starters were averaging in double figures. Taylor one of them, Waiters the other one, and Campbell, of course, the leader. 19-10. Matt Doherty low to Jordan. Wesson playing behind him. Now back out front to Doherty. Campbell dropping back, gives it to Jordan deep in the right corner. He drops it off to Perkins in the right wing, to Braddock left of the circle. Now to Matt Doherty. Doherty with Campbell on him to Sam Perkins. Jump shot from on the right, no good. Rebounded by Wesson. Tar Heels have come the last 2 trips down floor and had nothing to show for it. Taylor on the right takes it into the lane. Fakes, puts up the shot. Good. Troy Taylor has scored 2 in a row for the Buckeyes, and it's 19-12. Ohio State within 7.
Woody, Michael Jordan was doing a great defensive job on him, and it was just a super move by Taylor to take advantage of the pick and get loose.
Braddock bounced it low to Perkins. Knocked away Waiters. Tar Heels now have made 3 trips down floor with nothing to show, and Perkins commits an unnecessary backcourt foul.
Oh, it really was, Woody.
Second team foul, or second personal on Perkins, and it's the 7th team foul against Carolina. Well, the Tar Heels showing signs of coming unglued a little bit after that great start in which Carolina built up an 11-point lead at 19-8. But now Carolina has gone 2.5 minutes without a bucket, and Ohio State can now get within 5.
They've put together back-to-back buckets here, and they also have that little momentum going for them right now. Interestingly enough, Woody, it was almost as if Taylor's third personal foul seemed to inject them with a little extra adrenaline.
Troy Taylor, who was just 21 3 days ago, will be at the line out of McKinley High School in Canton, Ohio. Pushes the first free throw up, and it's good. He's shooting 79%. He and Campbell have 5 each now. Taylor, if he makes this one, could become the Buckeye scoring leader here with 7:14 to play in the first half. 19-13. Make it 19-14. Ohio State within 5. Now Ohio State with its trapping defense stolen by Ohio State. Taylor, jump shot, no good. Rebounded by Campbell, right back up with it, no good. They crash the boards, and it's tapped in by Wesson. Ohio State within 3. North Carolina has gone 3 times down the floor with nothing to show on the board for it. A foul and 2 fouls and a turnover. Well, actually, 2 fouls and 2 turnovers. Perkins to Braddock. Comes back now to Hunter on the left wing. Hunter in the lineup at the moment for Jordan. To Matt Doherty. Working to the left of the circle, gives it up to Braddock. Braddock fakes Waiters, takes the jump shot. Good! First bucket by Jim Braddock on the night. 21-16. Carolina by 5 with 6:25 to play in the first half.
Woody, that's an important shot because Ohio State was doing a great job of clogging up the middle, getting back more and more in the middle every time down.
Stokes double team. Whistle. Foul is on Ron Stokes. He charged into Jim Braddock. That'll be the 7th team foul against Ohio State. He had charged after he released the ball, and so Braddock will go to the foul line. Michael Jordan returns for Carolina as Curtis Hunter goes out. Ohio State now with 7 turnovers. The Tar Heels have 8. Our engineer tonight, as usual, is Steve Craddock, and Bob Woodruff is our statistician. You're going to be hearing us give a lot of facts and figures that Bob Woodruff is feeding us. You're going to be hearing a lot of what Steve Craddock has done today when you'll hear the sounds of that ball off the rim and off the board as they battle for it. Jim Braddock at the free throw line, 82% free throw shooter. Jim has now played in more Tar Heel victories than any player in UNC basketball history, 109. Coming in here tonight.
Woody, his mother and father sitting right there on the front row as they have it virtually every Carolina game I can remember all year. They've been tremendous followers of the Tar Heel team, particularly during this Jimmy's senior year.
The players' relatives and parents are there. One thing Dean Smith does on the Carolina ticket allotment, the parents get the choice seats down close to the bench. Next free throw by Braddock is good. It is now 23-16. Tar Heel lead is 7. And Carolina will pressure backcourt.
Woody, you remember the old days when they thought it was kind of a jinx for your parents to come see you play?
I said good seats behind the bench, Jim, but the way the bench stands up, I'm not sure those seats are so good. Knocked away from Campbell. Recovered Perkins off to Braddock. Comes to the left wing. Holds up, gives to Perkins. Fires from 20 feet. Good. Sam Perkins. You remember how well during the year he made those 3-point field goals. That would have been a 3-pointer in the ACC. The lead's gone back to 9, 25-16.
Woody, after running off 8 unanswered points, the Tar Heels have grabbed back, Ohio State had run off 8 unanswered points. Now the Tar Heels have answered back with 6 straight points of their own, and it seems to have broken Ohio State's momentum.
Eldon Miller has taken Troy Taylor out of the Buckeye backcourt, and Larry Huggins, Ham they call him, has come in to replace him. Huggins and Stokes in the backcourt. Campbell, Wesson, and Waiters across the front line. Stokes gives it to Waiters, gets it right back on the right. Now it's out front to Huggins. Left wing to Campbell. Back to Huggins. Over it goes now to Stokes. Ohio State in scarlet, working to the north goal. Campbell to Waiters. Bounce pass back to Huggins. Looking inside with 5:20 left to play in the half. Here's Campbell. Turning, baseline, drops it off to Wesson. Tar Heels 1-3 1-point zone. Here's Waiters shooting over it. Good. Waiters gets his first field goal of the game, 25-18.
Woody, the mark of 2 good teams. Ohio State being very patient at the same time. The Tar Heels very, very active out of that zone.
Jim Braddock from Warren Martin bounced low. Whistle. Foul is on Perkins for holding Granville Waiters, and that is number 3 on Sam Perkins. And there are troubles right here in River City for the Tar Heel inside game.
And a couple of them not very smart fouls by Sam. He's a little discouraged right now, and Dean Smith is going to bring Brad back out into the game. So we'll have Warren Sam coming out. That's
Sam is going out, and so Brad Daugherty has replaced him.
So we'll have Warren Martin and Brad in, the two front court men for the Tar Heels.
Granville Waiters will be at the free throw line. 6'11" senior from Columbus, Ohio. He is 1 of 2 thus far in the game tonight. 5 minutes to play in the half. I'm not sure we'll see Perkins anymore in the first half. The Tar Heels just hope they can hold their own while their All-American sits on the bench. Missed the free throw. Waiters did, and it's rebounded by Brad Daugherty. Off to Jim Braddock. Here's Braddock coming front court. Konchek is back in the ball game for Ohio State. Braddock zipped right by him, picked up by Stokes. That goes to Brad Daugherty. Konchek is on him. Ohio State's man-to-man. Comes now to Braddock. Daugherty tried to cut backdoor. Braddock couldn't get it to him. Jordan works against Huggins. Here's Jordan driving into the lane. Back out front comes to Matt Daugherty. 4:35 to play in the half. Brad Daugherty, turnaround, right of the lane is no good. Knocked back outside, and Brad Daugherty knocking it away. And the foul is called on Brad Daugherty, and that's number 3 on Daugherty. So the Tar Heels, who really need rebounding strength inside, have gotten both of their frontline starters, their 2 big guys, in foul trouble with 4:31 to play in the half. And John Brownlee, the sophomore from Fort Worth, Texas, has got to fill the void.
Woody, right now, I suspect over in North Carolina, all the friendly bets are being put down on how soon we'll see the Tar Heels in the 4 corners tonight.
Larry Konchek, or Joe Konchek, will be at the free throw line.
All this foul trouble, you can bet the Heels will have a tendency to get a little more conservative.
Free throw is good by the Canal Fulton, Ohio sophomore. That's his 3rd point of the game. He played only 7 games a year ago for Ohio State due to eligibility problems, but while he's been out, he's grown an inch, much like Michael Jordan, but I don't believe he's put on the weight Jordan has. Next free throw is good. Right now, an official timeout's been called. So there's timeout on the floor. The Tar Heel front line is in foul trouble with 4:31 to play in the first half, and the score, Carolina 25, Ohio Network crew back at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York. This is one of the modern architectural designs, very much like the Silver Dome in Pontiac, Michigan, and the Hubert Humphrey Dome in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that is a forced air dome. And a moment ago, it's really just a nylon ceiling, I guess. A moment ago, a jet came by on its way into the Syracuse airport, and for the life of me, it sounded for a moment like this place was getting ready to take off. John Brownlee inbounds to Jim Braddock. 25-20, Carolina by 5. Tar Heels shooting 59%, Ohio State 44%. Brownlee holds it well outside on the left to Matt Daugherty. Now to Jim Braddock inside the hash mark. Carolina now going with its number 5 offense. And for Carolina, of course, that will be the shuffle as Ohio State packed back in the zone. Here's Braddock, top of the circle, 4:05 to play. Jordan shooting over the zone, no good, an air ball tapped outside, recovered Konchek. Ohio State can get within 3. Konchek down on the right side, gets it back out front to Mac Huggins. Comes now to Ron Stokes. Stokes in the midcourt area. Carolina was up by 11. Just under 10 minutes to play in the half. Konchek, fall-away shot on the left is good. Joe Konchek with his 6th point makes it 25-22. The Carolina lead is only 3. Dean Smith talking to Jim Braddock as he gets it front court against Ron Stokes. Spinning, comes back to the left side. Now will sort of gear down to a walk to Matt Daugherty, to John Brownlee in the right corner. Now to Matt Daugherty. Over on the left side, it comes to Braddock. Ohio State in a zone, trying to force Carolina to shoot outside without any of the front line big people in there. And there's a whistle and a foul on Ohio State's Ron Stokes. It's his 2nd, and Matt Daugherty will go to the line as the ball was knocked away at the top of the circle. Matt Daugherty, without a field goal thus far in the ball game, is 2 for 2 at the line tonight. He stands 7th on Carolina's all-time career assist list with 315. Michael O'Koren, the next man ahead of him, is 348. 25-22. Carolina lead is only 3. Daugherty ready, arches it up, and it's good. That's 3 out of 3 at the line, averaging 10.6 points a game. He's one of 3 Tar Heel starters in double figures. Jordan at 19-9, Perkins 17-1.
Woody, an hour before the game, Matt was out here shooting free throws. He shot more free throws than he did any other kind of warm-up here when he came out before the rest of the team.
27-22. Carolina leading by 5 as Ohio State brings it front court, going from left to right. Here before a crowd of about 23,000 in the Carrier Dome, I'm guessing. Syracuse has had upwards of better than 32 in here for games with St. John's and Ohio State. And it would have been that big tonight had the Orangemen been here. Campbell off the left baseline, good. And Larry Konchak, or Joe Konchak, I keep wanting to call him Larry, pushes off inside on the bucket. Joe Konchak with the foul. Tony Campbell gets his 7th point to make it a 27-24 ball game. But we'll wait and see who goes to the foul line for Carolina at the south end of the Carrier Dome. It's going to be Michael Jordan, who was trying to get rebounding position and evidently got pushed off. Jordan, the first North Carolina sophomore that I can remember in basketball to ever be picked as a National Player of the Year. I remember George Glamock was honored as a junior back in 1940. Michael Jordan's free throw is no good. Falls off to the left. Rebounded by Ohio State, and the Buckeyes have a chance to get within 1. Remember, Carolina led by 11. Huggins top of the circle. Now to Stokes on the left side. Back to Konchak. Deep in the right corner to Huggins. Carolina tight man-to-man defense. Doherty and Perkins with 3 personals each are having to watch from the bench. Here's Stokes driving. Feeds Konchak. Jump shot. Good. 27-26. Joe Konchak pulls Ohio State within 1.
Woody, with that shot, the Buckeyes have now hit 7 out of their last 8 shots after going only 3 of their first 11.
Matt Doherty to Jim Braddock deep in the right corner. Back it comes to Doherty. Somebody really needs to take over now for Carolina. Jordan to Braddock. Braddock, left wing. Over it goes now to Jordan. Jordan to Braddock. Look to Doherty. Calling somebody out. Warren Martin filtering through the top of the lane. Now John Brownlee comes up on the alternating lane. Doherty almost had it knocked away. Recovered. Huggins is on him. To Braddock with under 2 minutes to play in the half. Braddock bounce pass to Matt Doherty. Doherty can't get through. Will have to come back out front to Braddock. Now the Ohio State defense is being applauded by the Ohio State partisans just down to our left. Here's Jordan out of the corner. No good. Doherty tried to make the save. Stepped on the end line. It belongs to Ohio State. Jordan is unable to get the shots to go down. Cecil Exum from Dudley, North Carolina, and Durham freshman Curtis Hunter return for Carolina as Jordan and Brownlee go out with 1:40 to go.
Woody, at one time the Tar Heels were shooting 70%. They hit 7 of their first 10, 8 of their first 12, but now they have missed 5 out of their last 7 shots. They've really grown cold here in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Ohio State with a chance to lead for the first time tonight.
Good defense, though.
Campbell to Huggins. Carolina in the zone. 2-1-2. Huggins bounce pass to Campbell in the right corner. Doherty playing off of him about 4 feet. To Huggins. Now to Stokes over on the left side. Back to Huggins to Campbell. Campbell looking low for Waiters. High cross-court pass to Konchak. To Stokes. Huggins. Jump shot. 20 feet. Ohio State leads. Larry Huggins with his first field goal gives Ohio State a 28-27 lead with 1:05 to play in the opening half. Ohio State has battled back from 11 down. Hunter to Braddock. Braddock coming off the right wing, gives it now to Matt Doherty. Off to Curtis Hunter. Hunter back over to Doherty right in front of the Buckeye bench. Now to Matt Doherty working against Huggins. Backing up outside with 45 seconds to play in the half. To Curtis Hunter. To Warren Martin. Back out front to Braddock. Braddock will give it up to Matt Doherty. Jump shot. No good. Rebound. Crashing the board, and it's Cecil Exum drawing the foul. Without any size in there now, Ohio State is very effectively boxing Carolina out underneath. The foul on Exum becomes his first, and we'll move to the north end of the Carrier Dome, where I believe Joe Konchak is going to be at the line.
Woody, it's been a long and difficult few days for Cecil Exum. He had a death in his family. It was, we are told, it was one of his grandparents or perhaps an aunt or uncle. At any rate, he did not come up with the team yesterday, and there was a funeral earlier today, and he did not arrive until about mid-afternoon with an alumni charter.
Konchak's first free throw, and it's 29-27. Ohio State now with a 2-point lead. 35 seconds remain in the first half. Coming into the Ohio State lineup now is Alan Kordercrack, a 6'9 freshman from Delphos, Ohio. Was a Class A Player of the Year in Ohio high school ball last year, but has played very little this year. Next free throw by Konchak is good. Konchak now with 10 points to lead Ohio State in the first half, 30-27. Carolina has not scored a field goal since the 5:46 mark, and both Perkins and Doherty have gone out since then. Only 2 free throws for Carolina since the 5:46 mark. And that has cost the Tar Heels to lose what at that point was a 9-point lead, and earlier in the half was 11. The clock is down to 10 as Doherty gives it to Jordan. Here's Jordan giving it up to Hunter with 5. Feeds low to Warren Martin. Fall away. Shot is good. Clock is down to 2-1, and the first half is over. Warren Martin manages to pull Carolina within 1, and Dean Smith wanted a foul on that last play, but it will not be coming as the Tar Heels, who led by 11, head for the dressing room.
Will be starting the second half with their foul trouble. Granville Waiters.
Ball out of bounds to start the second half of play. Inbounding it into the backcourt to Troy Taylor. The Buckeyes will go from right to left toward the south goal here in the final 20 minutes. I hope of this game, not of the season for North Carolina. Troy Taylor to Huggins. Carolina's open man-to-man. Carolina with its starting lineup back intact. Doherty and Perkins playing with 3 personal fouls each. They were on the bench the final 4.5 minutes of the half. Granville Waiters back to Troy Taylor, looking inside for Campbell. Taylor will drive. Short jumper is no good. An attempted slam dunk by Waiters is no good. Tapped outside, recovered Perkins. Perkins going in on Huggins, and Huggins grabs him around the arm. And it will be a 2-shot foul coming for Sam Perkins. And Huggins goes over to make sure Sam is okay. And for Larry Huggins, that will be his first personal foul, first team foul of the second half against Ohio State. And to the free throw line will go Sam Perkins, who was 1 out of 1 at the free throw line in the first half. He was 3 of 8 from the field. Michael Jordan, by the way, Jim, did you give them the fact that Jordan was 2 of 5 from the field? We talked about late in the half some of Michael's shots not going down when he was trying to take the offensive load with Doherty and Perkins out of the game.
And he started off so well.
Sam Perkins, who's been in double figures in the 11 NCAA games that he's played during his career at Carolina, now has 8 in this ball game. Will have a chance here for 9. That ties the score at 30-30 with 19:24 left to be played. The winner here meets the winner of upcoming Georgia St. John's on Sunday afternoon for the East Championship. Next free throw good at 31-30 Carolina.
Woody, it was a very tough defense that gave the Tar Heels that big early lead in this game. It's going to be interesting to kind of keep our eye on Sam and Brad and see how well they play defense early in the second half with those 3 personals.
No doubt Ohio State will try to go right inside to them. Jordan and Braddock have Taylor double team. Taylor got it knocked away, and then it went out of bounds off Jordan, says official Ron Spittler, working that right sideline. So it's going to be Ohio State's basketball still. 19:09 left to play in the ball game. 31-30, Carolina leading it. And right now, a timeout has been taken by Ohio State. That's the second that the Buckeyes have used in this game. Carolina's All-America football guard, who got one this very year. 31-30. North Carolina with a 1-point lead over Ohio State. The Buckeyes out of the Big Ten have the basketball. Huggins deep in the right corner to Konchak. Back it comes now to Huggins. Over to Taylor, looking inside to Waiters. To Huggins, to Konchak. Jumper over Brad Doherty. No good off the side of the rim. Perkins has got the rebound. Almost knocked down, but got it away to Jim Braddock. Braddock comes front court on the left side. Breaks his dribble, goes to Jordan now, deep in the left corner. Brad Doherty was at the low post, calling for the ball. Matt Doherty now right in the circle, goes into the free throw circle, now gives it to Braddock, goes to Jordan. Jordan into the lane, dumps it back to Braddock. Jump shot, 22 feet off the front of the rim, no good. Recovered by Huggins. Here comes Ohio State on the run. 18:25 to play. Ohio State trying to retake the lead. Whistle, and Huggins travels, and that turns it over. And for Ohio State, that is turnover number 8. So each team is even now at 8 turnovers apiece.
Huggins sure didn't think he walked, and he was not really being contested at the time that he walked. Pointed at his foot and said, "No, sir, Mr. Official." Didn't do it.
Braddock to Doherty. Carolina working at the north goal here in the second half. Sam Perkins at the right wing. Gives it to Matt Doherty. Michael Jordan's come to the high post, calling for the ball. Braddock looks inside. Now down the sideline on the left to Brad Doherty. Cross court it comes to Matt Doherty. He goes high post to Sam Perkins. Perkins whips it back to Jim Braddock. Braddock looking inside. Crowd thought Braddock walked with it. Bounces it off to Doherty. Here's Matt at the foul line to Sam Perkins. Taylor on him. Matt Doherty getting by Huggins. Bounce low to Jordan. Turnaround. Baseline. No good. Laying on the rim. Brad Doherty had it. Campbell took it away from him. 3-on-2 break to Huggins on the right side. Jump, shoot, rims out, 17 feet. Whistle, and the foul's on Sam Perkins. It's his fourth, going for the rebound.
Interestingly, Woody, Sam has the typical looked with no expression at all on his face, but Matt Doherty took the basketball as if he were going to bite a chunk out of it. Because Matt knew instantly what the whistle was for and the implications for the Tar Heels.
31-30, Warren Martin is coming in to replace Sam Perkins, who has picked up his 4th personal foul. 17:41 to play. The last game Sam fouled out of was North Carolina State, semifinals of the ACC tournament, but prior to that, his 2 foul outs had been early and mid-December, Tulane and Santa Clara. He is not prone to foul out that much. Carolina gone now to the zone. Huggins to Konchak, jumper right corner, no good, bounding away. Loose on the floor, recovered Taylor. Here's Campbell, jump shot, bounds away, no good. Whistle, and the foul is on who? Granville Waiters of Ohio State, I believe. Basket is good by Campbell, and the foul is on.
So, did it go in?
Yes, it did.
Holy smokes, I didn't think it went in. Okay.
Foul after the shot. The bucket will count off Tony Campbell. It's his 9th point. The foul on Waiters is his 2nd. It's the 2nd team foul against Ohio State. Alley-oop to Jordan from the dunk. Good, and Konchak fouls him, and oh my goodness, did the crowd go wild about that move. One of the few spectacular moves of the night Michael Jordan has been able to make. But that was what you would call in the trade a high percentage shot. He was looking down when he slammed it. Foul was on Konchak. And it will be his 2nd, 3rd team foul on Ohio State. For Jordan, only his 3rd field goal. He's 0 for 1 at the line tonight. Free throw is good. 34-32. The UNC pep band seated in that north end zone was holding up ratings of that dunk as you would do in judging diving. They were giving Michael, everybody was giving Michael a 10 on that one. Konchak, left sideline to Taylor. Carolina leads by 2. Here's Taylor driving left of the lane. Jordan swiping at it, draws the foul. Joe Sylvester whistling the foul. Jordan said he didn't, but it's number 2 on the Wilmington sophomore. 2nd team foul against Carolina here in the 2nd half. Ohio State will get the ball out of bounds, and Ron Stokes, the 5'11 sophomore from Canton, Ohio, is coming back in for Ohio State as Larry Huggins goes out. Dean Smith up, changing his defense off the North Carolina bench. 16:52 to play. Carolina leads by 2. This game officially has not yet been tied, but Ohio State is trying to do that right now. Campbell, top of the circle. Taylor to Konchak in the right corner. Konchak out of the corner, now to Taylor again. Carolina packed back into the zone from foul line to baseline. Konchak ties it for the first time at 34 all with his 12th point of the game. He was averaging only 6.6 coming into the game and shooting but 42.8. Tonight, he is 4 of 7 from the field. 16:20 to play. Brad Doherty to Michael Jordan. Soft jumper, no good, off the front of the rim. Knocked out of bounds off Carolina, says Woody Mayfield, and it belongs to Ohio State. North Carolina did not agree, and Mayfield took a long, hard look at the Carolina bench as the coaches got up to protest. 34 all, Ohio State across the timeline. Ron Stokes in control. To Taylor. To Stokes. To Konchak. Back to Stokes. To Konchak. To Stokes. He drives the lane. Dishes off to Waiters. And we get a walk on Taylor. The 9th turnover for Ohio State. Eldon Miller just scratches his head with his right hand, holds up his hands. I can't believe that. 34 all. Score tied. He is talking to his assistant SID, Steve Stapp, as well as the standby official who is seated at the scores table, but he gets no motion from the standby official. High lob, Jordan to Martin, turns, Waiters fakes out, Martin shot, no good, tap follow, good, Jordan, I believe. Let's see. Yes, Jordan gets his 9th point of the game. 36-34, Carolina by 2. We had to wait for the official call on that one, although I believe Bob Woodruff had already penciled it in for Jordan. Stokes rims out. Braddock with a rebound in the lane. Carolina trying to run. Braddock against Stokes, left side. Coming to the baseline, can't get through. Konchak got back. Doherty to Jordan. Jordan, jump shot, 13 feet, no good. Bounces away. Whistle. And the foul is on Konchak for pushing off on the rebound. Joe Konchak of Ohio State picks up his 3rd personal with 15-15. Match to play in the ball game, and that's the 4th team foul against the Buckeyes.
Matt Doherty pulling in underneath, setting up perfectly the way the coach wants to do it in practice every day, and he was pushed off.
Perkins won't go back for a while. He has stood up now and taken the jacket that was draped over his shoulders and put it on. He applauds the team's efforts now as Braddock sends it to Doherty on the left. Gets it right back with just over 15 minutes to play. Carolina holding a 2-point lead. Brad Doherty at the high post. Jordan jump shot right corner. No good. Jordan can't buy one right now. Taylor, front court quickly for Ohio State. Drives by, and Jordan may have picked up his 3rd personal foul. He did.
Right, and it was not a good foul, Woody. He was trying to, you could sense his frustration. I think, Bob, how many has he missed? He's missed 2 or 3 down court now.
He has only 4 of 11. He has made only 2 of his last 9 shots.
That's right, and his last 2 in a row that he's been down court, and that was a frustration foul as much as anything else.
14:56 left to play on the ball game. Perkins rides the bench with 4. Brad Doherty plays with 3, and now Curtis Hunter has come in to replace Michael Jordan, who has gone to the bench with 3 personal fouls. That is the 3rd team foul against Carolina in the second half. Ohio State has 4, and Troy Taylor, the speedster out of Canton, Ohio, is at the free throw line, and he converts on his 3rd straight free throw of the night. He has 7, and it's 36-35. He'll try to tie the game for a second time, but not it twice here in the second half, and is tied for a second time at 36-36. Ball saved by Taylor on the inbound. Back to Konchak. Layup. No basket. Foul was on Hunter. Or did they count it? I believe they count it. Yes, it counts by Konchak. Hunter draws the foul. Ohio State coming up with the ball on the steal. Taylor falling out of bounds into the Ohio State bench. Saved it to Konchak. And as he scores his 14th point, Curtis Hunter, who had just come in to replace the foul plague Jordan, reached in and drew the foul.
Woody, that's 3 of about the worst 3 things you can have happen to you in a row. A turnover in the backcourt with poor ball handling, then coming in from behind, making not a good foul from behind against the guy about to make a layup.
Konchak with a left-handed free throw, no good. Brad Doherty with the rebound. Turns in traffic. Stokes was close. He sort of hit Stokes in the face with an elbow, but nothing called on the play. Braddock top of the circle now. Jordan is getting ready to come back in. 38-36, Ohio State. Hunter to Brad Doherty. Turnaround from 10 feet off the glass. Brad Doherty knocks in his 8 point. Ties it for a 3rd time at 38 all. 14:25 left to play as Stokes gives it to Taylor at the left wing. Carolina packed back in the zone. To Stokes, top of the circle. High lob to Granville Waiters. Alley-oop. Whistle, foul. Brad Doherty, his 4th. Brad Doherty picks up his 4th personal foul. Matt Doherty goes over to grab him around the shoulders, telling him to take it easy. Boy, the Carolina front line is in as much foul trouble as I can remember all year, and Jordan has got 3 in the backcourt.
Woody, there's just no way to say how important a lead is now for either team, because if Ohio State gets ahead, the Tar Heels are not going to be able to play the kind of pressing defense they want. Dean Smith very unhappy with something down on the sideline.
He's saying it was not a shooting foul, that there shouldn't be 2 shots coming, that it should be out of bounds baseline, and the officials agree. Konchak will inbound the ball from the baseline. Out into the midcourt area to Stokes. Score tied 38 all, 14-15 to play. Stokes to Konchak. Konchak out of the right corner to Stokes. Back to Konchak. Brad Doherty on him. Michael Jordan, and Stokes travels with it. That turns it over to Carolina. John Branley is getting back into the lineup now for Carolina. He played briefly in the first half, but he will have to play for Brad Doherty. So North Carolina had to go the last 4.5 minutes of the first half without their 2 big guys, Brad Doherty and Sam Perkins. And now 14:06 to play, and I would think that Dean Smith would like to buy time, Jim, if at all possible, down to about, I would say, 8-7 minutes left to play.
And Woody, during the time that the 2 of them were out, Ohio State outscored the Tar Heels 12-2.
Carolina had trouble getting it inside because Ohio State, just like in the first half, has now reverted to zone. Goes low to Warren Martin. Martin turns off the right baseline, 1 dribble, and whistle, and the foul is on Dave Jones, who had come back into the Ohio State lineup. For the life of me, when Warren turned baseline, I thought he dribbled the ball out of bounds. But the foul is called on Dave Jones of Ohio State, his first 5th team foul. Carolina will get the ball out of bounds at the baseline.
There were about 3 Buckeyes who were trying to help the officials call walking on Warren, but the officials did not see that.
It does not help Carolina's cause, of course, to not have Michael Jordan's shooting eye intact. Jordan is having a tough night shooting the basketball. And when Carolina has its big people in foul trouble, Jordan needs to be connecting.
What do you, Ohio State?
Jordan coming in one step, feeds it back outside to Doherty.
Ohio State back in a zone. It wouldn't surprise me to see the Tar Heels be very patient here and take a little time off. Take a lot of time off, as a matter of fact.
Matt Doherty jump shot, didn't go. Warren Martin is there to follow up and scores. Campbell had a hand on it, couldn't control it, and Warren Martin makes it 40-38 in favor of the Tar Heels.
So much for trying to slow it down.
Jones across the timeline. Works top of the circle, gives it up now to Taylor on the left. Carolina in the 1-3-1 zone. Jones shoots over it, no good. Tap follow is good, and the foul is called on Granville Waiters. Basket is good, and the foul is on Waiters, who is protesting to Woody Mayfield that he was being pushed off. Instead, Waiters gets his 3rd personal foul, the 6th-team foul with 13:01 to play, and now Jim Hebner, Joe Konchak, and Granville Waiters are both in a bit of foul trouble. The basket did count by Waiters. It ties the score for a 4th time at 40-40, and Eldon Miller has walked past the timeline, and he and Dean Smith, I think, are laughing about the officiating. The basket counted, and it was by Waiters.
By Waiters.
I believe. By Waiters? Yes, Bob Woodruff agrees. Waiters, his 5th point of the game. Jordan on the right side. Under 13 minutes to play. Braddock to Doherty. Doherty top of the circle. Feeds Jim Braddock. Braddock will come back out to the point. Bounce pass to Matt Doherty. By the John Brownlee pick. Can't get the shot. Bounces away to Braddock. Braddock backing up outside against Troy Taylor. Down the sideline now to Warren Martin. Cross court it goes to Matt Doherty. Doherty looks low for Brownlee. High lob to Michael Jordan. Comes to Braddock. Braddock coming to the foul line. Ohio State zone moves out. Won't give him the shot. Matt Doherty on the left side. Comes to the top of the circle. Drops it off to Jim Braddock. Clock's at 12:20 and running down. No shot clock, remember, in NCAA play. The Tar Heels right now seem very patient, content. Bill Guthridge, the veteran Tar Heel assistant, standing and applauding the team's offensive thrust. Braddock, bounce pass to Jordan. Almost had it knocked away. Back out front to Braddock. Braddock gives it up now to Warren Martin. Martin holds it high, goes to Jordan. Almost lost. Knocked down. Whistle, foul. Dave Jones, Ohio State. Jones grabbing Jordan as they were falling down. Michael almost losing the basketball. Now, Jim, that's going to be the 7th team foul on Ohio State. So Jordan will go to the bonus. Carolina has 2 fouls yet to give before the Buckeyes are in the bonus as Steve Hale replaces Jim Braddock.
Woody, you've got to feel good about the way the Tar Heels took advantage of that possession. They slowed the game down. They held the ball for a good minute. As a matter of fact, they still hadn't attempted a shot. Right now, Dean Smith going with a team of good ball handlers rather than the tallest team available to him right now.
Larry Huggins replaces Dave Jones in the Ohio State backcourt as Michael Jordan, the Tar Heel All-America, who is 1 for 2 at the line with 9 points, toes the stripe with exactly 12 minutes remaining. Score knotted, 40 all. Free throw is no good. Knocked around, recovered Huggins. Jordan now cannot get a free throw to drop.
And he almost picked up his 4th foul there, trying for the steal.
Taylor across the timeline against Curtis Hunter, who's in the lineup now. Taylor going to the baseline. We get a whistle, and the foul's on Steve Hale of Carolina. Hale, a baseline foul, his first, the 5th team foul, Carolina. So now the Tar Heels have but 1 more foul to give as Ohio State will inbound the ball from the baseline right underneath the south goal.
Bob Woodruff just passed us a note saying that Michael Jordan has been to the free throw line twice and each time has missed the front end of 1-and-1. Very uncharacteristic of Michael.
40-40 the score. Carolina, Ohio State, the winner to beat the Georgia St. John's winner Sunday afternoon for the right to go to Albuquerque. Taylor, foul line, good. He's fouled by Curtis Hunter. It'll be a chance for the 3-point play by Troy Taylor. He not only knocks in the field goal, but Curtis Hunter takes his 2nd personal foul. And Taylor, who is a perfect 4 of 4 at the free throw line, will have a chance for Ohio State's 2nd 3-point play of the game. Konchak missed earlier in this half to convert after being fouled when he scored. Troy Taylor shoots 79% at the free throw line.
Tar Heels with 3 starters on the bench right now. Braddock getting an opportunity for a blow, and of course Doherty and Perkins on the bench with foul trouble.
Free throw is no good. Campbell rebounds. Block. Martin recovered Jordan. Tremendous block, Martin. Jordan going down. Fakes Campbell, puts up the shot. No good, and he's fouled by Tony Campbell. That will be number 2 on Tony Campbell. And Jordan will go to the line. 2 shots coming for Michael Jordan. Jim, I believe if he gets one of these free throws to go down, I think you may see a boost in the Wilmington sophomore's confidence. He is only 1 of 3 while shooting 4 of 11 from the field. 42-40, Carolina trailing. Free throw, good. He has scored more points than any other sophomore to date in Carolina history. 1,138 coming in here. That was his 10th point of the night. Granville Waiters has gone out of the Ohio State lineup now, and Keith Wesson, the 6'9 freshman from Niles, Ohio, has returned. 42-41. Jordan trying to tie this game for a 5th time, all in the second half, and does. Jordan now with 11 points. And Hale will pressure Huggins in the backcourt. He gets it across the timeline, inside the hash mark. Eldon Miller standing in front of the Ohio State bench. Bounce pass to Wesson. Wesson lost it. Travels, turns it over. Hunter was about to come up with a loose basketball when the travel was called. 11 turnovers for the Buckeyes.
Would he foul trouble or no? The Tar Heels were in a deny defense all the way down the court that time, affronting everybody, and the defense accounted for that turnover. It did bother the Buckeyes.
Jump shot by Jordan. No good. Tap baller, no good. Knocked out of bounds by Wesson. It belongs to Carolina. Jordan still without the outside shot, and Dean Smith quickly motioned to Michael Jordan. Keep shooting. Don't hesitate to shoot, only because you're 4 of 12. Keep putting it up. 42-42. Jim Braddock replaces Steve Hale. Bob Woodruff informs us that Granville Waiters left with 4 personal fouls, and that's why he's on the bench. Carolina inbounds the ball. Martin in the right corner. Now to Doherty against Taylor. Here's Doherty. Jump shot. Wouldn't go down. Campbell inside on Martin. Rebounded. Gets it away to Taylor. Score tied. 42-all. Taylor driving by Braddock. Now will go baseline. Lofts the ball over the inline. It belongs to Carolina. Taylor couldn't control it. Looked like the ball just slipped right out of his hand. Ohio State now with 12 turnovers. 42-42. 10:40 to play in the game. Braddock to the hash mark. Right sideline. To Curtis Hunter. Braddock now bounce pass to Jordan. Goes inside to Martin. Drops it right back to Hunter. Hunter in the lane. Off the glass. Good. Hunter got through on the penetration against the Ohio State defense for a 44-42 Carolina lead. Troy Taylor. Bounce pass across the timeline to Larry Huggins. Bounce pass to Konchak, who's back in the lineup for the Buckeyes. To Huggins. To Taylor. Looking low for Campbell. Can't get it to him. Cutting through is Konchak. Back out front, the ball goes to Huggins. To Taylor. Jump shot is no good. And the rebound is pulled out of the air by Hunter. You heard that grunt as he went above the rim to snare it. Here's Braddock moving to the right of the lane. Gives it to Michael Jordan. Jordan looks inside. Back out front to Braddock. Braddock, top of the circle. Here's Jordan going to the foul line. Doherty sets the pick. Drops it away to Hunter. Back to Braddock. Braddock on the left will move now to the top of the circle. Gets it to Matt Doherty. Doherty in one step. Gets it to Braddock. Jump shot, 22 feet. Good! Jim Braddock. 6th point of the game. 46-42. The Carolina lead goes back to 4. It was 11 at one time in the first half.
Well, you can't help but believe that the three-pointer during the year gave Jimmy, who already had a great shooting eye, a lot of confidence to take that outsider when he wanted to.
Huggins to Taylor, left wing for Ohio State. The Carolina 1-3-1 zone packed in. Huggins, Konchak, baseline, no good. Jordan with a rebound, and Wesson fouls him. Jordan, great inside position that time, boxing out Wesson, and Wesson had to go over his back, and Michael Jordan will go to the free throw line with 9:13 remaining to be played in the ball game.
Woody Brad Doherty has come back into the Tar Heel lineup now. Warren Martin going back over. I don't know whether Warren gave the tired sign or whether Coach Smith felt that at the 9:13 mark, maybe it was okay to let one of the 2 Tar Heel front court men in trouble come back in.
He's still got Sam Perkins with a jacket on, seated about 4 spaces down from him on the Carolina bench, where he's been since the 17:40 mark.
Gracious.
Michael Jordan.
The shooting in the second half is atrocious by both teams.
Jordan's free throw is good. Michael is now 4 of 6 for the game. He's made 3 in a row. It's 47-42.
Woody, the Tar Heels are shooting only 38%, 6 of 16 in the second half. Ohio State is only 33%, 5 of 15 here in the second half.
Jordan ready on the next one, and this one is good. Front rim, back rim. And right now, an official timeout. taken at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. The Carolina coaching staff thought there was movement on the lanes that time, and they wanted Woody Mayfield to call something. He did not. Right now, 9:13 showing on the big scoreboard clock here at the Carrier Dome with the score. Carolina through the 24th, the ACC baseball tournament comes to Boshemer Stadium in Chapel Hill. If you want to see exciting collegiate baseball at its best, contact the Carolina Ticket Office for information. Season tickets for all 6 sessions, only $12.
Woody, out in Kansas City early in the game. Villanova leading Iowa 13-9. Now the Tar Heels with a 6-point lead here in the game, but overall they are shooting only 46%. Ohio State shooting 44%. Interestingly, Ohio State is only 10 of 16 from the free throw line, while the Tar Heels are 14 of 16, and that accounts for 4 points of the Tar Heels' 6-point lead.
Huggins' jump shot top of the circle is good. Is a second field goal for Ohio State. 48-44 Carolina. Sam Perkins continues to ride the bench, but Brad Daugherty plays with 4. And Carolina comes front court. Hunter on the right side against Taylor. Now gives it up to Brad Daugherty. Back it goes to Curtis Hunter. Cross court now to Braddock. Dean Smith is calling Sam Perkins off the Tar Heel bench. He's getting ready to go back. Back to Jim Braddock. Fakes concheck, didn't take the shot. You heard Braddock maybe in the background calling out the Tar Heel offense. Now back to Braddock from Hunter. Over to Matt Daugherty. Brad Daugherty streaks through the lane now. Matt Daugherty took one good hard look at him and then didn't give him the ball. To Braddock, now it goes to Hunter. Hunter, jump pass, back over to Jim Braddock. Braddock bounces inside Brad Daugherty. Here's Curtis Hunter, going to the baseline. Can't get by Campbell. Comes to Michael Jordan. Carolina burning time now with 8:10 to play in the ball game, and Carolina leading by 4. Braddock coming off the left wing right in front of a standing Dean Smith at the Tar Heel bench. And Dean Smith wants a timeout. He wants to set his strategy now as we go to the wire. The final 8 minutes. And with timeout on the floor as Sam Perkins is ready to come back in. John Yefelaitis has got the UNC pep band in the north end zone in full gear. And 2 charter plane loads of Tar Heel fans plus countless others who drove the 13 hours from the old North State to get here tonight for game number 1 in this East Regional semifinals are on their feet, trying to get the Tar Heels to hold on with a 4-point lead, Jim Hebner.
Well, I'll tell you, they really paid the price to get here. They drive those buses all over America, and Woody Sam's back in there now. Let's see what the Tar Heels do with it.
He came back in now at the 7:57 mark after the timeout, playing with 4 personals. Carolina now spreading its offense out a bit with 4 personals on Sam Perkins. Now Matt Daugherty backing into the midcourt area.
4C, 4 corners.
This will cause Eldon Miller to have to change his defensive strategy a bit. Some of the crowd really starting to boo the Tar Heels now, and now the Tar Heel fans are trying to be as vocally supportive of Carolina as possible. Here's Brad Daugherty. Of course, what the Carolina strategy here now is to keep Ohio State from clogging the middle so much. Maybe open up something to try to get the layup or draw the foul. Jordan handling the ball at the high post. Back to Brad Daugherty on the right wing. Michael Jordan looked at the basket, didn't take a shot from 15. He loops it over to Braddock now. Here's Braddock against Mac Huggins. Bounces it to Jordan. Jordan gives it up to Brad Daugherty. Back out front it goes to Matt Daugherty. Now it's over to Jim Braddock on the left side. Now it comes to Michael Jordan. Jordan in the lane. Almost had it knocked away. Gets it to Matt Daugherty. 6:50 to play in the ball game. Carolina by 4, 48-44. Well, the Tar Heels certainly right here in this stage trying to burn some time, but also trying to come up with something here.
Interesting, Woody, that Ohio State so far still staying back in that zone. They're matching up just a little bit, but protecting underneath.
Perkins trying to low away. Here's Jordan, layup good. Waiter standing still as he was having to watch Perkins along the baseline, and Jordan makes it 50-44 Carolina. 6:15 left to play in the ball game. Right now, as Huggins picks up his dribble on the right. Bounce past the Konchak, and Ohio State will use its 3rd timeout. I think the Buckeyes are right now using their timeout foolishly. Clock is stopped. 6:12 to play. With the score, Carolina 50, Ohio State 44. West Regional out in Kansas City, Missouri tonight that Villanova is leading Iowa in the early going by 4 points. Villanova, of course, coming out of that regional as the number 3 seed, and then later tonight, Houston will play Memphis State. Jump shot out of the left corner by Tony Campbell as Ohio State quickly counters for 50-46 Carolina. That's Campbell's 11th point of the game. Here's Braddock down the right sideline to Brad Daugherty. Granville waiters on him. Brad Daugherty comes top of the circle, breaks his dribble, gets it off to Matt Daugherty.
Now look at the defense, Woody. Ohio State's gone into that pressing man-to-man. They're clearing out the middle for the Tar Heels. Look for the layup.
Stokes almost fouling Michael Jordan at that time. Here's Jordan against Stokes, picking up his dribble. Now to Braddock in the midcourt area. He works against Troy Taylor. Bounce pass now to Jordan at the right wing. Now it comes back out front to Braddock. You know the Buckeyes prepared for this because they felt sure they would see it if Carolina had a lead in the late stages of a close game. And it's not the late stages, but there is foul trouble. Backdoor, Sam Perkins. Shot. Blocked away. Recovered Ohio State. Here's Taylor against Braddock. Used his knee. Charge on Troy Taylor. Troy Taylor for the charge. Interesting that Joe Sylvester started to make the call first. Already had his hand behind his head. And then he slowly dropped it out of the way as if trying to hide it because Woody Mayfield had the call, and Mayfield had called the charge on Taylor. And, Jim, that's his fourth personal.
Well, the crowd, the Ohio State reporters, really irate about that call. Braddock was backpedaling as hard as he could. He had had set his position, but then he was backing, trying to, and as much as anything else, sort of to protect himself, but it was clearly a charge. Not much debate about that one.
Well, Taylor went right up his chest with his left knee.
Not much question about it.
50-46. Braddock at the free throw line to shoot 1-1. Jim on the night is 2 for 2, both in the first half. Up. Good. Well, when you wire the basket underneath, you hear everything. I mean everything.
Was that Waiters?
That was Waiters. I believe Granville thinks he was getting pushed off. 51-46. Next free throw is 52-46. Jim Braddock now with 8. 5:15 to play.
Holy smoke.
Huggins to Stokes. Comes now to Taylor. You know, he talks like an old man, too, doesn't he? Inside the Waiters. Knocked away Jordan over the sideline into the press table, and it will still belong to Ohio State. 52-46. Carolina leading by 6.
Woodley over here. He said, hey, I thought that was you making that noise.
Taylor out front to Stokes. Somebody says something like that, we got to get credit given quickly. To Campbell in the right corner. Back out front now to Stokes. Dean Smith up directing the defense. Eldon Miller's trapped in front of the Ohio State bench. Here's Campbell. Jump shot over Matt Daugherty. No good. Brad Daugherty alone underneath for the rebound. Drops it off to Jim Braddock. 4:40 to play in the ball game. Braddock against Troy Taylor, who stays in the lineup despite 4. Granville Waiters is playing with 4. Braddock breaks his dribble, gives it up to Perkins. Perkins against Tony Campbell. Breaks his dribble now to Matt Daugherty. Daugherty works against Larry Huggins. Down the right sideline, now spinning, driving to the basket. Layup is good! Front rim, back rim, falling through for Matt Daugherty. His 8-point, 54-46. Carolina by 8, and Eldon Miller's going to use his 4th timeout. He will go into the final 4 minutes of this ball game with only one team timeout left. So with 4:11 to play, clock is stopped. Timeout on the floor. The score, Carolina 54. 40 gives it up to Brad Daugherty. Almost got caught in the 5-second count. Now Matt Daugherty in the midcourt area working on Huggins. Carolina in 4 corners. Matt Daugherty breaks his dribble, gives it to Perkins. Perkins for the dunk. He's fouled by Tony Campbell. Waiters was playing defense on Brad Daugherty on the left side of the lane. Perkins took the ball, went to the right. There was nobody there to stop him. And when Campbell recovered Jim Hebner, Sam Perkins had the dunk, and Campbell had his 3rd foul.
And the pep band scoring section over there gives him a 9, 9, 9, 8, and a 10.
56-46. It's a 10-point lead now for Carolina with 3:27 to play. Sam Perkins at the line. It's no good. Tap back to Perkins. Sam Perkins now in the ball game is 4 of 10 on the night. Has 11 points. He's been on the bench a good bit here with foul trouble. Here's Michael Jordan on Taylor. Baseline off the glass. No good. Knocked out of bounds by Brad Daugherty. It's Ohio State's ball.
Woody, with a 10-point lead, that's the first time the Tar Heels have been a little careless with the ball. They Michael did take something a little other than a layup.
Troy Taylor to Tony Campbell, right corner. Campbell with Perkins on him, on the drive. The fake, up for the shot, off the glass, good. Tony Campbell gets his 13th point, 56-48. 8-point Carolina lead with under 3 minutes to play. Jim Braddock down the left sideline in front of the Tar Heel bench where Hunter, Martin, and Hale are all standing. Braddock picks up his dribble now to Matt Daugherty. Huggins has the defensive assignment on Doherty. Doherty brings it right to the circle. Now to the left on his dribble. Picks up his dribble. Got to get rid of it. Got it to Jordan. Jordan foul. Bounced the ball one time for the dunk, and when he did, Stokes with good quickness got to him and committed the foul. Stokes picked up his third, and Jordan, who is 5 of 7 on the night, but has hit his last 4 in a row, will go to the free throw line for Carolina. 56-48. It's an 8-point Carolina lead.
Woody, if the Tar Heels win here tonight, I understand that our airtime on Sunday morning Eastern time is 11:30. Folks who may think it may be a 1 o'clock game, we'll be on at 11:30 Sunday morning.
Free throw by Jordan is front rim, back rim, and good. Michael now with 5 free throws in a row. That's 16 points for the night. 19.9 scoring average for the Sporting News National Player of the Year. Jim, that's interesting. Picked by the pro coaches and general managers. Next free throw is good.
You know, they just don't pay much attention to those brochures. They look for performance and look for players with pro potential.
58-48. Here it comes to Stokes. Bounce pass to Taylor. Jump shot. Air ball. Rebounded Jones. Lays it up. No good. Yes, it's good. Wait a minute. Offensive basket interference. Zero basket. It was touched in the cylinder, I believe, by Campbell. Campbell touched it in the cylinder on Jones's layup. Carolina with a 10-point lead, 2:22 remaining to be played. Don't forget, right after the game, we'll be going into the media room for comments by players and coaches. You'll want to stay tuned for that. Steve Craddock has got us a very clear signal coming out of the media room tonight. Here's Jim Braddock on the drive, takes a feed, Perkins, dunk! 60-48. Great dish off by Jim Braddock to Sam Perkins for his 13th point. 60-48. Also want to, as the bounce pass goes from Stokes over to Jones. Ohio State underneath, it's Campbell. Or check it, Stokes for Ohio State. Ron Stokes, his first field goal, 60-50 with 1:45 to play. Braddock gets it to Jordan, driving in the lane. Reverse layup is no good. Waiters had it, lost it to Perkins. Actually, Campbell lost it. Layup by Perkins is no good. Waiters has got the rebound. Dean Smith wanted elbows. No call coming underneath. Here's Taylor with a minute and a half to play in the ball game. He gives it to Granville Waiters. Right back it comes now to Troy Taylor. Taylor faking Brad Doherty, pushes inside. Waiters up for the shot, no good. Tapped around. Doherty taps it. Control now by Brad Doherty. With 1:20 to go in the ball game. Ohio State can't get the shot to go down. Now the Buckeyes can't get the pressure's rebound.
Woody, amazingly, the Tar Heels leading here by 10 with 1:10 remaining in the game, and Michael Jordan is only 5 of 15 in this game. Generally, there's been a feeling that Michael had to play well, score well, for the Tar Heels to win here tonight. That's actually a good sign for North Carolina, really.
Less than a minute to go, and Jim, a quick reminder to all our stations and fans listening as Matt Doherty drives the lane. Started to give it up, now pushes it back outside to Braddock. We will cover the upcoming game between Georgia and St. John's, so stay with us right here on the Tar Heel Sports Network for complete coverage as Hugh Durham's Bulldogs go against the Redmen of Lou Carnesecca. Ron Stokes draws the personal foul in the midcourt area. Jim, I was about to say just a moment ago, if I might, that this victory here tonight by the Tar Heels, which will push the Tar Heels now into the East Regional Finals on Sunday afternoon, has got to make a young man at Memorial Hospital in Chapel Hill, Ricky Seaboat, feeling awfully well. You remember Ricky was involved in that terrible accident, apartment house accident down in Greenville in early March. He's now in the Chapel Hill Memorial Hospital and an avid Tar Heel fan, and we send him our best.
And if we'll just sort of decide that we have the power to do so and dedicate this North Carolina about-to-be victory to young Ricky. We've got a lot of things still coming tonight, folks. I think you'll enjoy.
Braddock's free throw is up and good. Jim now 5 of 5 from the line. He's got 9 points. That matches his average. And it's going to be Carolina against the Georgia St. John's winner on Sunday afternoon. Don't forget, we'll still be here for tonight's second game, but we also remind you that our airtime on Sunday will be 11:30. Braddock's next free throw good. 62-50. 40 seconds left to play in the basketball game. Eldon Miller is going to use his 5th and final timeout with 36 seconds to play. So there is timeout on the floor. 35 seconds to go with the score. Carolina 62, Ohio State. Woody Durham back with Jim Hebner at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York. Carolina with a 12-point lead, 62-50. So Sunday it's going to be Carolina against either St. John's or Georgia in the finals of the East Regional. And Jim Hebner, we both know, as do most Carolina basketball fans, Dean Smith, to date, has never lost a regional championship game.
He will be an underdog in this game here on Sunday afternoon. The St. John's Redmen, top seeded in the Eastern Regional.
And boy, this Syracuse crowd is going to be behind the Redmen out of the Big East.
It'll be a wild one for the game. The Tar Heels have shot 47%, 21 of 45. Ohio State 20 of 46 for 43%.
Ohio State with some seniors, young players in the games, and one of the players who just came in made a very big mistake. Clinton Smith, 6'6" freshman, Cleveland, Ohio, tried to throw the alley-oop. Nobody alleyed, and the oop pass went out of bounds. 62-50.
It's called the alley-oops.
12-point Carolina lead. Tar Heels will get the ball at the baseline. Perkins will inbound the ball to Matt Doherty. Doherty front court now. Jordan was coming down on the right side. Matt couldn't get him the ball. Bounced it out to Braddock. Jim Hebner, I've really been impressed with the floor game tonight that Jim Braddock has played. He's been good all year, but this one has been, I think, one of his best efforts here tonight, particularly having to go to so much four corners when the Tar Heels didn't run it for any lengthy period of time during the regular season.
Woody, there are many things about the game the Heels can feel good about. They went out to that early lead. The bad news is they got into some trouble, with foul trouble to Sam Perkins and Brad Doherty. But then the very good news for North Carolina is that it was largely without them that the Heels held their own, indeed built just a little bit of a lead. So, one of the things that bothered us all year in covering North Carolina has been their great dependence on Perkins and Jordan. Tonight, Sam was in trouble most of the game. Michael shot 5 of 15, and the Tar Heels have a 12-point lead with 20 seconds to go.
The starters are coming out. Matt Doherty was the first to go. Jim Braddock, Cecil Exum, and Steve Hale have come in. Warren Martin and Timo Makinen will now come for Sam Perkins, who's at the foul line after the foul a moment ago by Ohio State's Clinton Smith. Perkins makes good on the free throw. 14 points now for Sam Perkins. Brad Doherty is out as Timo Makinen is in the ball game, and for Perkins, he has now been in double figures in 12 NCAA postseason games in his career.
Woody, it's got to frustrate Ohio State a lot. Amazingly, in the second half, Ohio State has shot only 4 free throws. They are 2 of 4. The Tar Heels are 13 of 15 at the free throw line in the second half.
Michael Jordan has gone out as John Brownlee has come in, and Perkins makes this one, and Sam is headed for the bench. This time, not because of foul trouble, but because Dean Smith is taking him out with 21 seconds to play. For Carolina, this will be its 5th win in 6 meetings with the Buckeyes of Ohio State. The two teams thought they might meet last year in Charlotte, but James Madison upset Ohio State in the first round of NCAA play. Ball lost, outlet from Brownlee to Hale, thrown away, recovered by Ohio State's Mitch Haas. Clock is down to 6. Ohio State trying to get away the shot. The shot is no good, and the foul is called on John Brownlee with 2 seconds remaining in the ball game. So North Carolina will move to 28-7 on the year. And Jim, every Carolina team under Dean Smith that won that many basketball games has either won the national championship or finished second in the country.
Which means they have gone to the championship game.
64-50. Here's the free throw, and it's no good. Falling off to the right side. Clinton Smith, the 6'6" freshman out of Cleveland, Ohio, attempting that free throw that was no good. Next one is good, 64-51. Brownlee inbounds to Hale. The game should be over, and it is. North Carolina will move into the championship game of the NCAA East Regionals on Sunday afternoon against either Georgia or St. John's, as the Tar Heels score a convincing 13-point victory over the